Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Cub Chat Live. Shout out Pack 122. Shout out Pack 84. And shout out to Audrey Oakes, who's joining us. She is the National Chair of Cub Scouting, so we're very lucky to have her today. And today's topic puts your voice at the center of the conversation. These are my favorite kinds of episodes. We are going to be doing a rapid fire of the 10 most frequently asked questions about the Cub Scout program updates. And Audrey has graciously agreed that we can sneak in some of your own questions if you have them. I'll throw them in there for you. So be sure to drop them in the comments as we're live. And also just a reminder, we'll be putting up URLs throughout the screen that are resources that will answer some of these questions that you all have been asking as well. If you don't grab those URLs as we're live, don't worry. After we're live today, this video will remain up. You'll be able to rewind, send it around, what have you. All that to say, Audrey, hello, and thank you for joining.
Thanks. I'm here in sunny Florida, getting ready for our national meeting, and so hopefully our internet stays stable. I'm not in my normal spot, so we will hopefully have no lags.
That is okay. If we lose you or we have a lag or anything, it's no worries. We know you're on the job, and this is really live, so we'll stick around and wait till you can rejoin us. No worries. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready. So these are some of the things that popped up through social media and some of the presentations that our team members have been out doing about the updates, the current updates that are coming on June 1st. So hopefully these answer some good questions for you.
Absolutely. Looking at the questions, I totally agree. They are frequently asked. Like looking at our viewers here, they ask these every time we're live. The first one, why do the handbooks look different? They look simple compared to the older versions. Why is that?
Well, so we've seen this a lot. If you have some of the new handbooks, they are different by design. So the handbooks are what we call youth-facing. So they're for the scout out of that age. So they're going to be age appropriate. So they're not going to be at an adult level. They're going to give them just what they need to understand whatever the requirements are, but they're not the adult-facing content. It's going to be helpful, very helpful. So we do encourage you to get one, but the adult content is in a different spot. And it's good as a supplement and a nice overview, and for parents to be able to look and help out with whatever the requirements are. But you're going to want to look for that supplemental materials. This AOL book does have Scout content in it, the second half for the Scout rank. But it's not everything that you're going to need for all of your scouting career. It's literally just for that rank and what the things that they need to be able to prepare for that. And some folks have asked even, where is the Scout adventure? Well, that is throughout all of the new adventures in the AOL handbook. So hopefully that hits on a bunch of the questions we've had in and around the handbook itself. But we've had a lot of really good comments about how they love how they're concise and simple, fun, simple, and easy. And then when they see the adult content that complements it, then the whole picture, they'll see the whole picture.
Okay, talking about adults, this is perfect for our next question. Where do I, as an adult, get content? And when can I get it?
Exactly. When can you get it? So June 1st is when the Den meeting resources, which is an online on our website resource, and it is free. It's going to be entirely free to all adults to be able to use and interact with. This could be parents, obviously leaders, den chiefs, any other kind of helpers are going to have the access to this. And so and we've talked about this in the hub link, the Cub Chat that they're going to link here soon about where to find these, much more detail about our Den meeting resources. But this is really the key. There's 1,300 pages because each requirement has 1 to 3 activities associated with it that you pick and choose which one you want, has all the details complete with supply list, descriptions, directions, everything you're going to need is on that Den meeting resources. And we're calling it Den meeting resources because it's not just for leaders, it's for the partners, the Lion and Tiger partners, your Den chief, anybody that can come in and help. You could actually send a link or a printable out to any kind of parent or anybody who's a subject matter helper on a particular night or Den meeting.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. So there's two ways that you're going to be able to do it, and that's also the confusion too. Is they say, how do I get there? I have to have the handbook. Well, the handbook is the fast way to do it, and it's simple, and you can use that then in when you're in a den meeting and you don't want to type it in, but you also can type it in. Just type in scouting.org to Cub Scouts, and there you'll be able to get to the drop down link. So there's two ways to get there. So the handbook is the simplest and fastest to read that QR code, but you don't have to have the QR code to get access to the data.
I'm going to slip in a viewer question right now. It kind of factors into our next question.
Okay.
Is asking, is there going to be a book similar to the old Den Leader meeting guide to plan my meetings? I'm going to ask this other question in tandem with that. Will there be a printed version of the adult resources?
Oh, so you're very good. So that actually depends on what you mean by printed resources. So as I mentioned, there's 1,300 individual web pages, which is massive, massive content for the Den meeting resources. Those are not going to be printed like in a book form. Can you print it? Absolutely. You will be able to there will be like a print button or a way to print it. And you can print whatever activity you're working on. You can send a direct link, which is even what I recommend. So you don't even have to have paper. You can direct link that one particular activity or two activities that you need them to understand for the Den meeting, which again is great for handing off to Den chiefs or other parents or grandparents or anybody that's helping with that Den meeting. So that allows everybody to be involved in the Den meeting and not such a burden on the Den leaders. So it is printable, but it will not be sold in a book. What is confused sometimes is the youth-facing handbooks are available as paid for print PDFs that you can buy on Amazon. So that's the handbooks. You can get a printable for your tablet or whatever. It is for the handbook fee, and that is available. But the Den meeting resources, the massive giant amount of data, is not going to be printed out unless you specifically print them out. There's also going to be further resources, so you're not going to be limited to that, and that leads to your other question. So as we're updating our resources, and they will be available really close to the June 1st timeframe, if not on it, there's going to be updates for the Cub Scout Leader Handbook. Now that is not going to have the Den meeting content, but it's more of a how-to. How do you lead a Den meeting? And on all those things, that will be updated in that June timeframe. That will be a free PDF on our website. So you're welcome to print that out, or you're welcome to just look that up. There are also going to be other resources that you would expect. And the Family Talent Survey is being updated, and I think it's actually already up on the website. So there'll be a few other resources like that will be coming soon. So is it printable? It depends. It depends. Most all of them are printed, but they won't be sold in book form. I guess that's the bottom line, with the exception of the youth handbook, which is
sure. Well, shout out to James for asking part of that question, and his further question, will there be a Den leader guide I can actually print out? The answer is yes, although something I love is the clarification that it's not called the Den leader guide, and usually a name's a name, but I think it's important.
So there will be a Den leader guide. There is
resources. And I love that because it really helps you visualize how, yes, you can print it out. You can print it out and you can hand it to the leader who might be leading that meeting, because you're not going to necessarily be there and you've picked out the perfect activity and, passed it off. So,
right. So the Cub Scout Leader Handbook is your how-to in general be a leader. Your Den meeting resources are how to do that exact Den meeting for that exact requirement and activity that you want. So they're kind of two different things.
Sure. Okay, next frequently asked question. Do I absolutely have to do Bobcat as the first adventure?
So it is designed to be the first adventure that you do when you first required adventure that you do when your unit or your den is gathering for the first time. This is not meant to be a hard, you will be expelled if you don't do this first. But it's all designated around a gathering activity, getting to know your den. So it makes logical sense. It would be the first thing that you do as a den. Now, yes, do summer electives. Summer camps are set up for the electives. Yes, that's perfectly wonderful. If a parent goes ahead, Cub Scouting is a family event. And if a parent goes ahead and works on a requirement and the scout has completed it, yes, they have done their best and they should get credit for that. But it's designed to be the first gathering activity or adventure that you do, the first required one, when you meet together as a den. So that just makes sense. And I know some of the year-round schools, they start in July. So this could be, we say in the fall because that's the majority, but there's schools that start all throughout the the summer into fall. So whenever their first gathering is when you would do Bobcat.
Okay, perfect clarification. I actually didn't know that exactly myself, so thank you. Okay, next up, do my current year activities in May count towards summertime fun elective adventure?
So that would be a no. So what it is summertime. So whenever your school ends and your den is moving up into the next grade level is when you do your summertime fun. So for some schools, like I talked about, some of the year-round schools and other schools, they start in May. That's why May is included. They start their summer in May. They end school, so they're rising whatever grades. And they do summertime fun during the summer. And their summer starts in May. If your school doesn't get out until the end of June, then your summertime stuff would be, whenever your pack ends in June, July, August, those kinds of times. So that the idea around summertime fun is that you're having fun in the summer, not during your school year. So if you're talking about, May regular den meetings and regular pack meetings and your school is not complete, those would not count. If your school is complete and you are enjoying summer, yes, those things would count.
Okay, so the answer is it depends.
It depends, exactly.
If it's summer for you in a school year.
But go with the intent, which is summertime fun.
Sure. Okay, great clarification. We have a couple viewer questions that actually go back a topic, but I want to cover them before we move too much further forward. Marianne's got a funny one. If she thinks she spotted an error in a handbook, is there any way she can let somebody know?
Yes, they could send it to me, but you can also send it to some of the Cub Scout volunteers. We've been browsing that quite regularly, that Facebook group, look for errors. So right now we're working on that collection. We do know there's a few, things happen in printing. It just happens. So there's a few logos that got reversed and a couple things like that. What isn't a printing error is that there are no requirements for the range and target activities. Those are meant to be only done at a council or district event. So the requirements are not in there because the handbook is for the youth and their family and their den leader to do the requirements. So those requirements are not in there because they are not able to do those things. They are not certified at a council or district event unless they're actually at a council or district event. So if you're talking about the target, I have to use the new name, the range and target activities, those are not there on purpose, but all the camps and all the directors and folks that need to have those, they do have those.
Very good. So Marianne, join that Cub Scout Volunteers Facebook group if you haven't already. There's a great community there, so you'd be welcome. Brian, you answered his question, but I want to just clarify for him. For the digital handbooks or the handbooks that are in, digital form, are those PDF copies or some kind of unique platform?
The digital youth handbooks, I believe, are in PDF form, and they're on like Amazon and wherever you would order those. I believe they are. I
think you're right.
Look that one up. It's how you would get it on your Kindle and your use it there.
Right. Okay. Michaela has a question. It's interesting. Will there be a link to that 13,000 pages, in the den meeting resources if you want to download the whole den resource guide for a den level?
I wouldn't encourage that. because we are, like you said, we're going to be fixing those typos. We're going to be fixing those logo things. We're going to be an agile force moving forward. So if there are things that are not performing or resources that need clarification, we're going to be fixing it. So the most you would want to go back multiple times to the source to get updated information. If there's something that absolutely is not working, the requirements have all been tested with our 95% degree of confidence. So we're really confident with those. The activities have not been tested to that degree. So they're coming from good sources, but they're not been tested. So if some of those don't work, we're going to be changing them. So to make something, better, it won't be for a little bit, but
well, it's not meant to be a book. First. It's not meant to be a book.
But the whole idea is for it to be agile so that we can not wait years for things to be fixed that everybody knows need to be fixed. So
sure.
I wouldn't recommend that. There is not a button for that. There will be printable buttons by activity. And if this ends up being something that many people really desire, like by rank or something like that, you can put that under advisement and see how that goes. But for now, no, there's not a button.
Fantastic. I think that's cool. That it can be an evolving space. Jason says, thank you for the clarification on summertime activities. That was how I wanted to interpret the requirement. Yay. Okay, we are halfway through our most frequently asked questions. Just a reminder, yes, as we go through these, behind the scenes, Brian is putting a URL up at the bottom of the screen oftentimes as a continued learning resource for you. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are those Cub Scouts who do not have BSA swimmer allowed to go boating, or does the new elective adventure require them to have it?
So that is something that your aquatics staff and camps have been given a letter from the outdoor director to clarify and make sure. The requirement cannot be earned, the boating requirement for bear, webelos, and AOL cannot be earned unless you are a swimmer, the activity, the adventure. But as long as it's under the guidelines and safety of the aquatics director, they may go boating, and they just may not work on the adventure. So that is something that is going to be with your aquatics staff on their safety requirements. And as long as all those are fulfilled, they can go boating. They just can't work on that adventure.
Perfect. Cut and clear answer. Okay.
And it's an elective. It's not a requirement. So
if a Cub Scout earns a religious emblem, does he or she still have to do the family and reverence required adventure?
Okay, so this is it depends. So some of the, and in general, whatever it's mapped to, whatever the religious emblem is mapped to, is what they can get credit for as far as not having to do the adventures. If you do the religious emblem, it is much more difficult than the adventure. And so you do, in fact, earn that required adventure by doing the religious emblem. If the religious emblem is only for one grade, you just get that grade. If it's for 2 grades, which many of them is for 2 grades combined, then you get it for those 2 grades. If it's for the entire Cub Scout, all the grades, then you would get it for all the grades. So it really depends on the religious emblem and how it's set up. And so there's a few that specify webelos. And so we're working with those to verify whether they meant to have it as a 2-year religious emblem, or if it was just for the 1 year of 4th grade. So that is a point of clarification we're working with a few folks on. But in general, whatever they have stated as the age range is what you get credit for, the requirement, because it is much more difficult.
Okay. In the spirit of rapid fire, I'm going to throw you in a question I don't fully understand, but you might. It's too inside baseball for me. Luke asks, why is this fishing adventure different than the CAI program?
I am not familiar with the CAI program, at least with that acronym.
Yeah, Luke, let us know. What is CAI?
So we worked with the fishing and sports outdoors team and other subject matter experts to develop the fishing electives based on the age appropriateness of the material. So that's all I can tell you. It's good stuff. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be across all of the ranks. And so it's new. And so if it's an older certified angler instructor, well, they're not instructors. Oh. So that's maybe that's the deal. They're children. So that's the thing there. The fishing team is updating a lot of their materials right now. They've been working on it on their, and if you look at their Facebook webpage, they're asking for input on the fishing materials. So maybe I'm going to direct you there, because I don't fully have that information on the differences. So,
okay, well, that's good clarification, and good question, Luke. Next question: are older Cub Scouts required to earn the new knife safety adventure each year?
Yes, all bear, Webelos, and AOL are not required to earn the. Okay, it's an elective adventure. It is earned every year. You are required to recertify every year that you would like to use a knife. So that is the difference. It is not a required adventure. That used to be, but it made it hard for units that worked in schools. So it is an elective adventure. But every year that you would like to use a knife, you need to recertify. You have already earned the belt loop for the grade you're in, and you're earning a new belt loop for the new grade. And each of the elective adventures add on to the information and review safety, and then add on. So the first one's on pocket knife, the second one is on kitchen knife safety, and then the third one is on both, and it goes into more information. And so that's an exciting thing. All the camps and everything, outdoor folks are all advised on this and ready to go. So if there's some reason that you need to use a knife at summer camp, then they are prepared to offer that as part of their course. So yes, think of it as much like recertifying we as adults have to do for first aid and CPR each year, and keeps the scouts safe. And there is a video that's going to be coming on with supplemental material that's really good, I have to say. And it actually shows you a lot more of the how-to, like how do you teach this? How do you do this as an adult? And some more background on the knife baby. I will be covering this a lot more on the June, the first of the month Cub Chat, I think it's June 7th. I don't have my calendar right in front of me, but on safety and the safety integration on the knife safety, I will be part of that, and I'll go over that in a lot more detail.
I think June 7th.
But the answer is yes, recertify. And if you look at it as a positive, we get to recertify. Yes, you do.
Okay, so we have first a question from a viewer, and then another question that kind of similar topic. But Steve, I'm going to ask Steve's question first. Can you talk a little bit about the AOL year, and with it focused so much on the transition to troop, ways to keep them still engaged with Cub Scouts? So
the whole program is designed to be engaging, to be fun, simple, and easy, the whole new program. So we worked really hard and did a lot of testing on the things that we have in the program. So we have a 95% confidence rating that the requirements that we have are engaging. I mean, that was one of our main criteria, is that it had to be engaging. So when you see the activities, right now, if you're just looking at the handbook, you're only seeing the requirement. You're not seeing the engaging activities. You're just saying what must be done. And as I get this question a lot, it's what must be done, not what can be done. So if you're an expert in something, you can take it to another level and really get into fun activities and further education. But this is the baseline. This is what must be done. And you feel free to go above that. But this gives you a baseline. It's easier for new leaders and existing leaders who are super busy to get what must be done. How to keep them engaged. So I'm going to send you to the activities, but that is exactly what the program's designed to. We spread the Scout introduction over all the required adventures, and then they have two things. And 6 and 2, it's what Cub Scouts do, is going to be everywhere. So how you can explain to folks what Cub Scouts do is going to be so simple now. The second part of the book is from Scouts BSA themselves. We worked very closely with them. They gave us the information they would like AOL Scouts to know as they transition into the Scout rank. It is not, they are not allowed to work on the Scout rank, but it is the information that they will need to get to the Scout rank. It is not all the information. It is not the whole entire Scout book. It is only information to get them to that Scout rank. So hope that clarifies.
Okay, I'm going to flip this the other direction. Will AOL Scouts be able to complete and cross over in the winter? And is Scouts BSA ready for them?
They have the opportunity to be ready for them. They have, yes, we've worked closely with them. There's a video also out there for the Scoutmasters that both the directors of Cub Scouting and Scouts BSA have put together to help prepare them for that. We also did the Cub Chat, which exactly is linked there, which has a lot more detailed information. So yes, and honestly, the time frame that you're crossing over is exactly the same. It's for the majority of you is January, February, with a few into March. And the program is designed to be accomplished in that time frame. And so you'll see some of the requirements may not be as extensive, just to get you through that time frame, but still give you the quality information that's fun to be prepared for Scouts BSA, for both the Scouts and the parents, honestly. So.
I'm going to steal Teresa's words. Thanks so much, Audrey, for always providing great information.
Oh, you're welcome.
We are so glad to have you on the show.
That is our goal. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're getting close here, guys. Do Webelos and AOL Scouts have to get all new uniforms and switch our patches?
So there are new guidelines for uniforms, and they are just that, guidelines. They are, exactly what the optimum would be, but the families ultimately get to make the decision on when they need those uniforms. So currently, and on that Cub Chat that's linked right there, I go into a lot more detail with slides and everything. It's up to the family. If you want to be on the cutting edge and you like to sew patches on, sure, rearrange your patches. You do not have to if you're an existing Scout. The new Scouts coming in, new recruits, we encourage them to use the new guidelines, because they make a lot more sense with the new patches, because now there is a lion patch. So in order for all that to fit on the blue uniform, it's in order that you join Scouting. So go ahead and look back on that Cub Chat. It gives you a ton more details. But if your shirt is outgrowing, bump them up to the next one. If they are fine and you don't think you're going to go on to Scouts BSA, then you might not be changing your uniform. If you are, there's all sorts of factors that families have. And so the family is doing their best to provide the uniform, and we're going to honor that.
Fantastic answer. Yeah, Brian says, great question, short answer. No. Okay. Sorry, choking. Okay. I'm just laughing so much. Such a joyous episode. No, this is fun. A couple more questions. Okay, I think the next question we have is technically a bonus, which shout out to you for letting us get some bonus questions in. When the adult training modules are updated this month, do we lose our trained status as a leader?
Again, no. Short answer is no. But we're going to be doing a Cub Chat live on that really soon. I think it's in a couple weeks into June. The training modules are going to be all updated, and they're in the process of editing right now. So new trained leaders will need the new training. I mean, new leaders coming in will use the new training. They won't know any difference. So that's perfect. For those existing leaders, we're going to be recommending that they get the latest and greatest updates, that they take advantage of the resources that are there. There's only 6 modules we think folks really should refresh themselves on once those are uploaded. It takes about a half an hour. They're very short and simple, and it's the modules. You don't have to retake the entire training. You just go in and you click on the modules and do that particular episode. So it's, I'm trying to find my notes here to make sure I got it right. It is Bobcat, advancement, uniform, den and pack meeting, depending on if you're the Cub Master or you're a den leader, and the denner and den chief. So those 6 modules should get you all the latest and greatest information to make sure you're up to speed on where you need to be. And again, I will highlight that in much more detail when we do the training episode. it's the second or third week in June. I can't remember.
I'll look that up while you're answering this next one. I want to loop in a viewer question with our final bonus question. I've got to really find this. Okay, it's not a question, but it's a statement. Mike says, can you reiterate that parents don't like the belt loops and would prefer iron patches? But also, what are we going to do with all these belt loops?
Well, I have to let you know that the data says that they do prefer belt loops over sewing on patches. And so the data shows that is not true.
Sorry,
they hate sewing on patches more than anything, and they hate the stickiness of some of the badge magic. So when you have to change patches. So the solution is belt loops. And so that is the teaser, is that there's going to be some fun things coming out to help you with that solution. The program has never been designed for them to have all their belt loops on their belt for every single rank. It's made for whatever rank they're in to have those belt loops on them, on their waist, and the other ones in some sort of display from previous years. So there's been homemade ones I've seen that were really fun with paint sticks and all sorts of things. But Supply is going to come out with some really cute things this next week. And they're going to be something that you can carry and something that you could either display on the wall or put in a collection box. So those things are coming, and I can't fully release that, but they have heard that you have a need to display them somehow. And they've answered that. So that's going to be coming.
Very good. Well, in full transparency, the audience has disbelief over this, but y'all, let's just roll with it and see how the
you could go back to our data chart. Our data Cub Chat clear back.
Brian asked
October, November.
Brian asked the question: where do kids keep all their belt loops? My AOL's loops wrap all the way around him.
Yep. I mean, some may be able to do that, but some of the smaller folks are not able to do 4 to 5 years worth of belt loops, because the pins are on the older 2 grades. So it would be lion, tiger, wolf, and bear. So 4 years. So that would be a lot of belt loops on one belt. So it's only designed to have the current year's belt loops on your actual belt.
Steve says he could see a mid-year pack meeting being let's all make belt loop display board craft night. That'd be
Absolutely.
fun too. Yeah,
you could do that. But just to let you know, that Supply will be having some fun things coming.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. Okay, I think that we have rapid
and by
fire.
Supply, that means it will be in Scout
Shop.
Sorry,
yes.
You don't mean to use.
You also following up, I think we were talking about when is the Cub Chat live related to leader training modules, and June 15th. I believe is the date. Okay. So yes, you're right. Okay, Audrey, we got more than 10 questions in.
Do we have any more that they have?
I think we've pretty much addressed most of the thing that we need to get in. If there's any last minute questions, drop those in. There's a lot of questions on the belt loops and patches that you just addressed. Joshua says the uniformity of required adventure topics across the ages designed to allow the entire pack to do joint activities to help all scouts work on rank together?
Yes. And so we're going to be doing a Cub Chat live on that. So the program updates saga line is, we only have one more that's on the official rollout chart, but that does not mean Cub Chat live release data is going to stop. We're going to be continuing on with Cub Chat lives with very pertinent information that will help you with the transition. Like I talked about the training modules and the safety modules, and then there probably will be a lot more highlights of those kinds of things where we talk about like a STEM topic, like math. How do you incorporate? There's going to be a lot of the activities or the adventures have a common activity. All the required ones do for sure, but then we talked about some of those other chats or other charts that had the fishing, biking, whatever. But then there's some more besides that. So highlighting those and how you can handle the common activities, this is going to be so good for those multi-age dens that need to combine either by size or leaders or being trained or whatever reason, or as a pack activity. So we'll be highlighting some of those. And so there's just a teaser. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming. So you want to keep your eye on Cub Chat Live.
Very good. Very interesting. Anything that we haven't tackled that you think we need to address, Audrey? I kind of think we covered we're getting some more good questions. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, they went by too fast. I could not see them. So
will there be new in-person training for Cub Scout leaders?
Cub Scout, the training manual for the Cub Scout leader is updated. It will be released soon. It has been updated. So that part, if your councils are offering in-person training, then they will have the new manual as of June 1st. The modules, the online modules are updated. Blue is in the process. If not, I think everything is supposed to be targeted to be done by June 1st. But I haven't seen Blue is being updated also. So I'm not sure when their exact target is on that. Mm-hmm. And I believe there's a segment in Wood Badge that's been updated for Cub Chat, for the Cub section. So all of the training that is possible is being updated. Mm-hmm. This is a massive undertaking.
Yes,
so
it
the
really
answer is yes on that
done
one.
quickly. Done quickly. Hillary says, thanks for the series. Enjoy NAM in Orlando. I feel the same way, Audrey. This has been a great episode. Y'all, just a reminder, even though this episode is about to end, after we are live, you will be able to rewind and see resources that we posted throughout the show. And we've also got this awesome QR code that takes you to Cub Scout program updates, where you guys are pushing out updates all the time.
We are. So the updates are there. And if you hit the landing page, it just shows the chart of the 6 and 2. It's what Cub Scouts do. And then the rollout chart, there's a little arrow that you go back. It says go back to Cub Scouts. And that's where each segment is, which I believe the knife video is going to be there. And the AOL to Webelos, AOL to Scouts BSA video will be there. So check back. Frequently asked questions are going to be there. All those things are there, as well as our Cub Scouts. Gosh, I can't talk so much talking today. Cub Chat Live episodes and our podcasts. So this is an easy share. All you have to type in, it says at Cub Scout program updates. And then you'll see this and it'll all come up, or hit that QR code.
Sweet. And behind the scenes, Brian is dropping a link to Cub Scout program updates in the chat, wherever you're watching right now.
And that's the landing page. So when you see that, hit the back, and then you'll see all these segments on all these different topics.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Like Audrey said, we're also a podcast, so you can check that out wherever you listen to podcasts. Do keep the questions coming, because maybe we'll do another frequently asked question episode at some point.
And this went by so fast. I definitely re-listen to this one, because I'm seeing a lot of the same questions in the chat that we answered at the beginning of the chat.
That's exactly right. So rewind as soon as we end here. Rewind the video. It's all answered and more. And we threw most of your questions in there as well. Thank you so much, Audrey. Awesome. We'll see you in a few days in person. And then, bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to catch next week's episode. Same time, same place. And let us know how we're doing at go.scoutingmagazine.org/rate-cubchat. We love feedback and ideas for new episodes. And you can visit blog.scoutingmagazine.org/cubchatlive for all our past video episodes. You can see us live. Except it's recorded, but it was live. Okay, see you next week.